Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing something that has not been brought to you guys in quite a while, and that is a top 10 list. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite evolutionless Pokemon, which is exactly what it sounds like. These are the Pokemon that are born and live without the opportunity to ever become another species. These Pokemon are the same species from the day they're born to the day they die, so this list will exclude Pokemon with baby forms and Mega Evolutions, as well as this list is not going to include Pokemon that have multiple forms like Rotom and Cast form, just because I feel like it gives Pokemon like that an unfair advantage. But let's be real, Cast form could have over 9,000 forms and it would still not be on this list. Also, there will not be any legendary Pokemon on this list, as that is again unfair. This list is dedicated to all the Pokemon out there who can't evolve and don't get the recognition that they deserve. But without further ado, let's get on with the list. For all of your banana wearing flying dinosaur needs, Tropius is the Pokemon for you. Tropius is on this list mostly for its looks, because I don't really use it both competitively or in playthroughs. It doesn't help that it doesn't appear in Ruby and Sapphire until after you can already get a Sceptile or Breloom, while also being a bit difficult to capture from what I remember. But regardless of all that, you cannot deny how powerful it looks, and there's no way I couldn't include Tropius on this list. I'm a huge fan of dinosaurs, and that is a big plus for having Tropius on this list, and I honestly really want to use it more now that I'm talking about it, because it is such a cool dude. Number 9 is Spiritomb, and if you can't see why this thing is on this list, then maybe you should get your eyes checked, because in terms of design, Spiritomb easily has one of the best ones out there, being based on the that word. Taken from Bulbapedia, it is also based on a Buddhist tradition performed on New Year's Eve in Japan, where a bell is rung 108 times to chase away the 108 temptations in order to achieve nirvana. It also may take inspiration from other myths, one specifically from a Chinese novel, also centering heavily around the number 108, which is really cool when you consider Spiritomb's base defense and special defense are both 108. Pretty cool, right? Due to its high defenses on both sides, access to Pain Split, and the fact that it only has one weakness, it's not a bad Pokemon to use in battle either. It's a shame that I haven't seen it used a lot lately, as I hope that changes quickly, because Spiritomb is a really awesome Pokemon. Number 8 is the OG young bull himself, Tauros. Tauros is a simple three-tailed bull from Gen 1, but what really sold me on Tauros is his ability in competitive play. Usually sticking to the lower tiers and currently residing in PU, he runs through the competition with his base 110 speed while hitting hard with his access to sheer force and a wide move pool, able to take advantage of that ability. Slap a life orb or a choice band on it and watch him put in the work and sweep for days. It's definitely enough for me to put this menacing bull on this list, and if you haven't tried one out yet, I highly recommend it. Staying in Gen 1, number 7 is Lapras. Lapras is a really cool water-ice Pokemon. Get it? Cool? Never mind. Lapras is more of a nostalgic pick for me, because I absolutely loved Ash's Lapras in the anime, being helpful for transportation and even helping Ash win a badge. Also, I already briefly discussed my feelings on dinosaurs, and while not technically a dinosaur, being based off the Loch Ness Monster is pretty freaking cool. But don't get it twisted, Lapras is by no means a scrub in battle either. Having massive HP with good all-around stats and everything else except speed, there's plenty of ways to use a Lapras effectively. Safe to say, I think everyone can agree that Lapras is a pretty awesome Pokemon, so there's not much more I can say. Moving on to the most recent generation of Pokemon, let's talk about Hawlucha. Hawlucha will always, for me, be remembered as the first surprise Pokemon I encountered in Pokemon X and Y. With all the leaks leading up to the release of the games, it was nice to know that not every single Pokemon had been spoiled for me. Though I was a bit disappointed that it didn't evolve at first, I really can't imagine it looking any different than it already does. People have been waiting for a fighting flying type for the longest time, and I'm really glad that Hawlucha was the first. Being able to hold its own in battle, it is in BL after all, Hawlucha is a really fun Pokemon to use. You'll be hitting fast with its base 118 speed, and I highly recommend trying out a choice band. I've been tinkering around with the choice band set for a little while, and it works surprisingly well. Either way, Hawlucha has become one of my favorite Gen 6 Pokemon, and is my 6th favorite evolutionless Pokemon. Also, its shiny form is Bay. When he's not being a baller on the court, Durant is a Bug Steel Ant Pokemon from Generation 5. While I'm not entirely sure where my irrational love for this Pokemon comes from, I do know that Durant hits fast and hits hard. Having the Hustle ability gives its moves 50% more power without doing anything extra. Add stat boosts with things like Hone Claws, Life Orb, or Choice Band, and Durant's power starts to go through the roof. Design-wise, Durant just looks awesome despite being based off your average ant. Just look at how it appears so menacingly. All in all, there's not much more I can say about Durant other than use one. I never thought I would see a Dragon type be so underrated, but poor Druddigon was released in the same generation as Haxorus and Hydreigon, so it's easy to see why it gets overlooked so often. Looking a bit odd for a Dragon type, its uniqueness is what makes me like it so much. Having a really cool color scheme and edgy exterior, Druddigon is quite the beast, and it shows in battle as well, boasting 3 of the best abilities in the game: Rough Skin, Sheer Force, and Mold Breaker. While I usually opt to go for a more defensive set, having base 120 attack is nothing to sneeze at. It also has a really good move set to choose from, so experiment with some different things and see what you like. Give Druddigon a try and you may find yourself surprised by how much you like it. 3 5th gen Pokemon in a row? Well, it is my favorite group of Pokemon for a reason. Number 3 is Emolga. People write off Emolga as just another Pikachu clone, but in my opinion it's so much more than that. I first fell in love with Emolga while playing through Black and White for the first time. It was used quite extensively in the Nimbasa City gym, and I just didn't come to the gym properly equipped to deal with it. I respected the challenge it gave me, and I decided I should try getting one of my own. Despite being a bit difficult to find, I finally got one and trained it up, and to my delight, it turned out to be a really good Pokemon, and it even helped me get through the Elite Four. I also decided to use one in a fun baton pass team I used to run that worked decently well, which astounds me to this day because if you didn't know, Emolga's base stats are complete garbage aside from its speed. So despite the fact that this thing still gives me problems when I encounter it, I will cherish all the memories this Pokemon has given me. You guys are probably going to think that I'm joking, but I'm not. I love Klefki. It wasn't love at first sight by any means, but something about a freaking keychain being a Pokemon is hilarious to me, and the fact that it's actually good is even better. Prankster makes Klefki what it is, but it also has solid defenses, and in my opinion, the best typing in all of Pokemon. Although limited to what it can do, if you're looking to be a bit of a troll, Klefki is the Pokemon for you, having things like Swagger, Thunder Wave, and Switcheroo, which work really well with its Prankster ability. There isn't much more to say about Klefki, what you see is what you get, but Klefki is the best Pokemon, obey him. This may surprise you guys a bit, but my absolute #1 favorite evolutionless Pokemon of all time is Cryogonal. This floaty, frowny snowflake is easily my favorite of the ice types introduced in Generation 5. Unfortunately, it is pretty hard to find in-game, only having a 1% chance to appear most of the time, but getting it is worth it in my opinion, and is a better choice than either Vanillix or Beartic. My favorite part about Cryogonal is its design. I didn't think you could do much with a snowflake, but boy was I wrong, just look at it. And then we move to its battle capabilities. It's a bit of a mixed bag as mono ice typing isn't doing it any favors. However, having base 135 special defense and access to rapid spin does indeed make it a viable Pokemon, and since I love a challenge, I'm always exploring new ways to make this Pokemon work. All in all, I really do love Cryogonal, and do declare that it's my favorite evolutionless Pokemon. Well, that about wraps up this video, so if you've made it this far, please leave your own favorite evolutionless Pokemon in the comment section below, as I'd really like to see some of your favorites. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more top 10s in the future as well as other content. Thanks for watching, and until the next time guys, stay sly.